Hi, everybody. My name is Lisa Keslar, and I'm here on behalf of Cheers for Charity New Hampshire. And I have the honor of being here with my dear friend JoAnn that we work together on this initiative. I'm so excited to see you here, JoAnn, and excited to have you introduce to us the really cool group or cool person who's doing really great things, and tell us about her today. So nice to see you, JoAnn.
Good to see you, Lisa. Yeah, JoAnn from Lighthouse Physical Therapy. And it is my honor today to introduce Norma Torti with Arts for Angels, such a great new initiative. So welcome, Norma, and introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your new initiative.
Okay, I will. Thank you, JoAnn and Lisa. I appreciate the time that you're taking to listen to my story. I'm Norma Torti. I'm an artist, a full-time artist. And the program I'm going to talk about today is Arts for Angels. It is a program of Annie's Angels Memorial Fund. Some of you may be familiar with that. The Arts for Angels program is where I create customized art projects for people who are in assisted living, day out programs, senior centers, or hospice. And there's a whole story about why I'm doing this, which I'll tell you in a second. But what we do is create a diversity of projects art projects for these people, as well as do training of the staff for the people that work with them. So it's pretty special. And the reason I've done it is because about 7 or 8 years ago, I left the corporate world. It was time. And my mom and my mother-in-law had just passed away, sadly, but it was okay. And I ended up deciding after I left the corporate world that I needed to help somebody with a walker. So I ended up volunteering up at Homemakers Health Services in Rochester, New Hampshire, just doing regular stuff every week. And then it morphed into a once a month art program, which is me just volunteering, doing one project with several people and at the day out program. And it was awesome, except for the fact I found that some people had kind of struggled with it a little bit because it was one size fits all kind of thing. And that's what drove me to come up with projects that are actually customized to what they need. Like, for example, someone who has trouble, like has Parkinson's, for example, and their hands are shaking, may have more success with something like a clay pot or something like that versus painting with a brush intricately. So we found that it was just so much better to do that. So that's why I created the program. And coincidentally, after I created it, Annie's Angels noticed it and decided that this is a program that they want, and it fits in with their mission. So that's where we are at this point in time.
Awesome. So tell us about some of your experience so far, because I know you've already been going into some nursing homes and working with some hospice groups. And tell us a little bit about how that worked out and the response from the people that you were working with.
Sure. Well, in the last year, we did the pilot program, basically, which was everything that we did was free to the people that participated. And we had 5 organizations in the New Hampshire Seacoast, and they all participated over a period of 2 to 3 months. Each one of these, let's put it this way. So each one of these organizations received 3 different projects, and they are 2D-dimensional projects like painting and drawing, and then 3D projects like sculpting and felting and things like that. So that was the idea. So they each had 3 of them, and they were to complete them over a period of 3 months. And they had surveys that I requested. They didn't have to pay anything, but they did have to help me with the surveys. And it was awesome, the feedback. It was certainly, we can tweak a few things to make this project this way or that way, but between the training and the projects themselves, it was a huge success. One of the caregivers said that several of their people who usually have high anxiety, it calmed them right down, and they were just peaceful. They focused on the task and they finished it. And we're happy. It was great. Another organization in the day out program said where people would normally not communicate with each other, they were connecting, they were engaging, and not just that, they were actually helping each other and encouraging each other. So it's pretty wonderful. So far, so good. So now we're on to phase one, or I should say after the pilot, the next phase, which is some of the organizations we already had, plus some brand new ones and new projects.
That must take a lot of work to come up with projects that are going to be easy enough that people can be successful with, but also like a little fun, challenging, you know, for somebody that, I don't know, may not need as much assistance, but works,
Yes.
something that works for everybody, I guess.
Exactly. Well, that's just it. Generally, I have 6 different projects. 3 of them are 3D projects. 3 of them are 2D projects. And during this, a key part of this whole project is I hire an art consultant for each of the phases. So for the first phase, I had a person who is a licensed art therapist. We're not teaching people to be therapists, but we're using her influence to make this a really wonderful connection between the caregiver and the clients or the patients. So this next phase, so every new phase, I'll have a new art consultant. And this time it's another person who is really good at marketing strategies and you know, kind of planning things out. Plus she's already given me 12 brand new ideas. So they're all integrated with a theme. So it's I don't do this by myself, but it's really awesome to have another putting a couple of people together and really coming up with some wonderful, fun programs, projects, I should say. The other thing I wanted to mention that's unique about this project is we don't just say, here you go, color in the lines, you're done. We give them in the instructions a list of prompts. So you got your caregivers who are working with 2 or 3 different clients, and there are ways to encourage people to get them talking a little bit. So here's a perfect example. When they made the air dry pots, little planters, they finished them, they painted them, they put the air plant in them, it was all cool. And so the caregiver would say, one of the prompts would be, what would you like to put in that little pot that you'd like to get rid of? What would you like to put in that pot that you'd like to keep? So things like that actually came out really amazing, because we had one group who were actually family caregivers did the project. So Cornerstone VNA was one of our groups, and they have a caregiver cafe, and every month they did these projects for 3 months in a row. It gave them such a relief and happiness and a little joy and connection from their everyday work that they do and caregiving that they give for their loved one. So it really applies to quite a few people, so I'm learning. And we're trying to make it as available as possible.
That's fantastic. Oh my gosh. So Norma, how are you getting the word out about this to some of the organizations that they can take advantage? Are you looking for more ones? I know you said sort of you're going in phases, but you know, how can the people listening help you?
Well, I definitely would like to expand it to more organizations, and the people that I would like to talk with, and we see if it's a good fit, because we have to make sure it works for everyone, is activity directors of organizations like I just mentioned. It can be a small group. I think probably no more than 15 people at the same time. So a group of 30 is too much, but 15 or fewer in a group, or it can even be one-on-one like a hospice situation, because they've used them as well. And it's pretty awesome. So that's who I'm looking for, and I'd like to expand it. And we're going to have a social media launch. You'll see a Facebook page I just created yesterday for it. And of course, this interview, which is wonderful to do to get the word out. I want to create awareness, and I want to expand it.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
So do you need my contact information or that help?
We do. What I'd love to hear a little bit more is, if people want to do a little more research, you said you set up a Facebook page. How else can people, learn more, especially for people who either want to partner, maybe it's appropriate for their organization, maybe they want to donate, maybe they have, they want to donate money or resources. What's the best way to get that connection made?
Well, first they should probably go over to anniesangels.org and look under their programs and Arts for Angels. It will give you a detailed explanation of everything we're doing, our mission, and we want joy and connection for people. And that's really the mission. And so that's one place. And there at the bottom of the page is my email address. So you're welcome to communicate with me at any time. And so for this next phase of the program, we're not asking for payment, but we're asking for donations to keep the program going, whatever that can be. And it may be a monetary donation, or it may be the organization giving me some testimonials so I can keep the program going. So I want to make it as available as possible to people.
That's fantastic. So, go ahead, JoAnn.
Oh, I was just going to say, I love this. I think art is such a special way to just connect people, and just in a special, I'm such a believer of art and having people, there's such a satisfaction, like when you're able to do a project and finish it, and it's just great that you're providing this. And I'm sure the caregivers that are also using your products with their clients are so appreciative, because that's got to be hard to constantly come up with new things for them to do. So it's such a great gift of what you're providing for the patients as well as the care providers. And
well, I can tell you, it is the process. It's really not as much the end product as it is the process that they go through to get there, and the connections they're making, or just the peace that they get, or the calmness, or whatever it is. Everybody deserves a little joy in this world, right? So this is my way of sharing it.
Yeah, what you do is amazing, Norma. And for those who don't know you, and what a gorgeous artist you are, and what a kind heart, and the fact that you're pairing your kindness and your generous spirit with the amazing talent that you have, and sharing that gift is really impressive. And we're so grateful. Yeah, you make a difference at every turn, and this is just one more example of it.
Well, I can tell you this, Lisa, I thank you for that. However, I have to tell you that I get more out of it than they do. Because when I work up at Homemakers, they just fill me up. It's awesome. So yes, I get something back. Seeing other people happy.
Then
you're doing the right thing,
Right.
Absolutely.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Well, we are so grateful that you shared this story with us today, and that you're allowing us to share it with the greater Seacoast community and everyone else who wants to watch. And I can't wait to see where the program takes you, and takes the community. I think it's just fantastic.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, JoAnn.
Thank you for coming on with us today.